Hey guys, Varric here. So today's video is going to be on Horridon, the second boss in the Throne of Thunder. Now this boss has got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of moving parts. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, Horridon himself, you're not going to really be dealing with for about 95% of the fight. This is really an ad-heavy fight where the ads become more of the primary focus. But there are a couple abilities that you need to keep in mind as the fight goes on from Horridon. The first being called Charge, which will randomly charge a raid member. And then immediately following the charge, he'll do an ability called Double Swipe, in which he does like a rear and frontal conal damage effect. So when if he charges you, just either disengage or just run out of the way to the side of him, and you should be fine. Just keep in mind that during the fight he will do this on a random raid member. Other than that, that's really all you got to worry about from Horridon. But we'll go ahead and get started with the ads. Now, if you look around the room, you notice there's 4 gates. Each of these gates will spawn different types of ads, and then certain ads within this group will take priority over the others. They will be more dangerous than the other ads. So we'll go ahead and get started on the first gate, which is the Faraki gate, which will be immediately to your left as you enter the arena. Now this gate will spawn 3 different types of ads. One called the Stone Gazer, the other one called the Skirmisher, and the last one called the Waste Walker. Now the Waste Walker is the most dangerous ad of these 3, and will be your primary focus on this door. However, you can go ahead and get rid of these Stone Gazers when they spawn, as they do one annoying ability called Stone Gaze, which will stun you for 2 seconds. And they don't have a lot of health, so it shouldn't take very long to kill them if you want to go ahead and just get rid of them. But once they're down, you want to immediately turn your focus to the Waste Walkers. The Waste Walkers will do 2 different abilities, one called Blazing Sunlight, in which case he will target a random raid member and cast this ability. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but he has been known to kind of rapid cast this, where he'll do it 2 or 3 times, and it can do well over 100k damage at that point. So it's just something your healers are going to have to keep an eye on. The second and most dangerous ability on this door, though, is the Sand Trap that he casts, where he will randomly drop a sand trap on the ground. Just kind of keep an eye out for it. You don't want to stand in it for obvious reasons. It'll do a decent amount of damage. It won't one-shot you, but you just want to keep an eye out for it. The last ad that you want to keep an eye on this door is called a Dinomancer, and he will spawn on each door. When you see him spawn, you immediately need to shift focus to him and get him down to 50% as quickly as possible. Reason being is when he's down to 50%, he will drop a clickable item known as a Orb of Control. When you click this item, it will mind control Horridon, and he will charge and destroy the gate. In which case no more ads will spawn. So it's imperative that you get this Dinomancer down to 50%, so you can click the orb and keep the ads from coming out. Once he charges the gate, you want to finish off whatever ads are left, and then if you have any time left, you can DPS Horridon until you move on to the second gate, which is the Gurabashi gate. Now this gate will only spawn 2 different types of ads, but one of the ads are extremely dangerous. The first ad is called Bloodlord, and the second one is called the Venom Priests. The Venom Priests are the most dangerous ad, and the reason being is they have 2 pretty nasty abilities. One is called Venom Bolt Volley, where they will cast a raid-wide poison debuff that stacks. Meaning if they cast this 2 or 3 times, you're going to have a stacking poison debuff on you that's going to start ticking for a lot of damage. It is interruptible. And I highly recommend that you set up some type of interruptible rotation on these ads to keep them from casting it. 1 or 2 applications is not game ending, but it's going to tax your healers along with all the other damage. So if at all possible, you want to keep them from casting this. The Bloodlords themselves are not really all that dangerous. They do one ability called Rending Charge, which will apply a bleed effect, which doesn't do a ton of damage, but if you happen to have a couple of the poison stacks on you at the same time, it's going to start to hurt. So again, you just want to keep the Venom Priest as your priority. The other ability that the Venom Priest do is called Venom Effusion, where they will spawn like a poison ad copy of themselves, which can also cast the Bolt Volley. And also when they die, they will leave this venom, like this poison graphic on the ground, which you don't want to step in. On top of the bolt volley and all this other stuff, it can get kind of nasty as far as raid-wide damage. So just get the priest down as quickly as possible, and things will be a lot easier. As with the other door, when you see the Dinomancer spawn, you want to get him to 50%, click the orb, have Horridon destroy the gate, and then finish off whatever adds are remaining, and then you can get some DPS uptime on Horridon. Finish off the adds, and then move to the third gate, which is the Drakari gate. Now this gate will spawn 3 different types of adds: the Drakari Warriors, the Drakari Champions, and the Frozen Warlords. Now of these 3, the Frozen Warlords are the most dangerous. Firstly being they have a ton of health. They will take a while to actually whittle down to kill. So you definitely want to focus these guys as much as possible. Really the only thing the other 2 adds will do is they will apply a debuff called Deadly Plague, which is a 5-minute stacking debuff that does like shadow damage every 3 seconds. 1 or 2 or even 3 stacks of this is not really super damaging, and it can be dispelled. However, you're probably not going to get a dispel until the gate is down, as you don't want to waste your healer's mana by doing that until you know you're not going to get any more applications of this. But back to the Frozen Warlords. These guys are the most dangerous, mainly because they drop an ability called Frozen Orb, which will drop these little frost orbs randomly around the room, and you don't want to get anywhere near it, as it does a decent amount of damage. You won't get 1 or 2 shotted, but you don't want to be anywhere near them if at all possible. So just get the Frozen Warlords down as quickly as possible. Once the Dinomancer spawns, again, you just want to get him to 50%, click the orb, have Horridon destroy the gate, and then finish the rest of the adds down. There's a good chance you're going to have at least 1 or 2 of these Frozen Warlords as you're going to the last door. Just try to get them killed before you move to the last doors. You don't want to have these Frozen Orbs too close to the last door and have to deal with that along with the last gate's abilities. The last gate is called the Amani Gate, and it will spawn 4 different types of adds, which is the Amani Protector, the Flamecaster, the Warbear, and then the Beast Shaman. The Protectors and the Flamecasters aren't generally very dangerous. In fact, the Protectors are pretty much forgettable. The Flamecasters only do 1 ability called Fireball, and it can get kind of nasty, along with some of the other abilities going on, but again, there should not be your focus. Your main focus is you want to kill the Warbears. However, you don't want to just AoE all the Warbears down at the same time. Reason being, each time you kill a Warbear, his rider, which is the Beast Shaman, will dismount, and then you'll have to deal with the Beast Shaman. You don't want to deal with more than 1 Beast Shaman at a time, because they have 2 pretty nasty abilities. First being Chain Lightning, which, for obvious reasons, will damage the entire raid with Chain Lightning. On top of the Flamecasters and the other adds, you don't want to have too much of these guys running around. But the last ability is the Lightning Nova Totem that the Beast Shaman drops, which does a lot of damage. If you see one of these totems that are down, do not get anywhere near it, as unless you're at full health, you're probably going to die. Just steer clear of them if at all possible. Ideally, what you want to do is kill 1 bear and then kill that bear's shaman, and then move on to the next bear and kill that shaman, and then rinse and repeat. You don't want to just randomly kill all the bears and then try to deal with a bunch of shamans and all the other adds at the same time, as you're probably going to wipe. As with the other doors, once the Dinomancer spawns, get him to 50%, click the orb, and then get the gate down, and then clean up the adds, and then you'll just have Horridon by himself until one of 2 things happen. Either he gets to 30%, or I think it's 45 seconds go by until 1 more add will spawn, which is called War God Jalak. Now really he only does 1 ability called Bestial Cry, which does about 150k raid-wide damage. However, every time he casts it increases its damage potency by 25%, so you definitely don't want to have more than 3 of these go off. However, otherwise your raid is going to be in real bad shape. Once he's down, though, he's going to enrage Horridon, in which case Horridon's abilities, he's going to increase his attack speed and his damage by 100%, so you really need to get him down as quickly as possible, otherwise your tank is going to get wrecked. But that's pretty much it. Really, the adds are the only thing on this fight that you really need to worry about. Hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, like and subscribe, as it helps me out. If there's any questions, concerns, just leave them in the comments down below. But as always, I appreciate you guys watching, and See you next time.